Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're doing something a little different. We're turning away from, the usual news cycle to look at a really unique piece of source material.
It's a very evocative narrative, almost poetic.
It is. It's about a wanderer named Ilian and his journey to find what the text calls profound rest in this hidden valley. The story is called Ilian and the Whispering Pines Lantern.
And it is a beautiful story. But we're not here today to appreciate the literature.
No, we're treating it as something much more practical.
That's right. Our mission is to decode the engineering underneath the narrative. I mean, this text describes a complete system for achieving psychological and physical rest.
A blueprint for tranquility, almost.
Exactly. We're dissecting the specific techniques, the environmental architecture laid out in the story, to pull out a set of instructions for what it calls deep, peaceful sleep.
So for you, the listener, this deep dive is about getting a really quick insight into how you can engineer tranquility. We're focusing purely on the sensory inputs and the internal guidance the text describes.
And the very first step, the foundation of this entire architecture, is absolute isolation. It's non-negotiable.
The text is very explicit about that. The setting has to be far beyond the noise of cities.
Beyond the busy roads and crowded places, you just can't begin this process if the foundation is constantly rattling with external stress.
Okay, but let's push back on that a little. For the average person listening, maybe someone in a city apartment right now, does that mean the whole plan fails at step one?
That's a great question. It implies that, being close to chaos adds this cognitive load that's actively fighting against rest. But if we decode the function of the isolation, it's about minimizing unpredictable stress. Sirens, horns, things you can't control, and that leads directly to the next part, the conditioning environment.
The valley itself. Whispering Pines.
The architects of this rest, they knew they had to replace the external chaos with a consistent internal rhythm.
And the source spends a lot of time on the soundscape of Whispering Pines. It talks about the tall trees swaying, making a sound described as being like gentle breathing.
Which is such a powerful image. It immediately suggests the entire ecosystem is alive and dreaming.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is how that soundscape works. It's a consistent, low-frequency input that's basically designed for sensory entrainment.
So, if the world around you is breathing slowly, you start to breathe slowly too.
Your body just naturally tries to match that rhythm. You start to build what you could call auditory trust. The environment is safe.
It's not silence, it's patterned calm. And the source goes further. It says the pines have a nightly conversation.
Whispering stories of, old times, gentle rains, soft snowfalls, fireflies.
Why that? I mean, why is that low-stakes narrative better than just, say, a neutral hum or white noise?
That's the psychological brilliance of it.
Yeah.
White noise is background, but it's empty. It has no content. These stories, though, gentle rains, golden summers, they're positive inputs with a very low cognitive load.
So you're processing something, but it's something comforting.
Exactly. It triggers positive memories, feelings of comfort, without requiring any problem solving. It's just safe. So safe that the text says, animals fall asleep right under the branches.
So the environment itself is conditioned to lower your guard. And once that sensory foundation is laid, we meet Ilian.
A wanderer.
And he's described as being ready for this. He's unusually tired, his legs are heavy, thoughts drifting like soft clouds. He's primed to surrender, but he still needs some direction.
And that's where the internal guidance comes in. This is the centerpiece of the whole method, the non-ordinary lantern.
It glows with a warm, honey-colored light that never goes out. It's like this unwavering, non-judgmental point of focus.
And let's talk about that color for a second. Honey-colored.
Right. It's not blue light, it's not white light, it's a warm wavelength.
Absolutely. It's another piece of the sensory engineering. The light itself is designed to be non-arousing. It doesn't interfere with your body's natural shift toward melatonin. But the most powerful part isn't the light itself.
It's the motto.
The generations-old instruction. This lantern knows the path your heart needs.
So the guidance isn't a map, it's a feeling. It's entirely internal.
Precisely. The whole method dictates that you can't find this kind of rest by following logic or a checklist. It has to come from an internal signal.
And the trigger is physical. The moment Ilian feels that deep fatigue.
The lantern warms in his hand. That's the somatic cue. It bypasses the analytical mind and gives this tangible, physical signal that says now. Now is the time.
It's permission, really.
Permission to start what you might call cognitive decoupling, to let go.
Okay, so he follows this internal signal, steps onto a trail, and the narrative immediately points out the sensory changes. The air gets cool, and it's filled with the scent of pine needles and earth.
That's a transition state. The cool air, the organic scent, it disrupts the physical memory of the outside world, the stale air of a crowded place.
And his body responds instantly. Shoulders relax, steps soften, his mind drifts.
The body recognizes the shift. It knows it's moving from a domain of effort to one of repose.
And this is where the environment starts giving him actual instructions. The pines start whispering, "Rest a while, breathe slowly. You've traveled far enough for today."
And that is a crucial piece of the architecture. It's delivering pacing and breath focus as an external command. A lot of people, we struggle to consciously start deep breathing.
Right, it feels forced.
But here, the calming environment itself gives the instruction. It overrides that mental momentum, the part of you that insists on pushing forward.
And that enforced slowing leads him to the final destination, this small clearing with a lake.
A still glass-like lake. The ultimate symbol of stability.
The ultimate visual cue.
Yes, it's the foundation for absolute stasis. The water is a perfect mirror reflecting the moon as if the sky had been folded in half. When we're stressed, our eyes are darting around looking for movement, for threats.
But seeing that perfect symmetry, that perfect calm,
It confirms that the external world has finally stopped moving. The journey is over. The mind can stop processing.
Okay, so now we're in the final surrender sequence. The lantern pulses, and in the golden ripples, Ilian sees these faint, glowing images of other travelers. People who came to the same lake for the same reason. Why? Why introduce the presence of others right when he's finally achieved total isolation?
It's such a powerful psychological move. It's confirmation and normalization.
He's not alone in feeling this way.
Exactly. He's not the first person to be overwhelmed. It removes the burden of feeling like your struggle is unique, and it confirms that the place works. It's social proof, in a way.
And then comes the final core instruction for mental release. The pines whisper one last time.
Let go now. Let your thoughts settle, like leaves drifting to the earth.
That's the actionable directive.
It's the most critical one. You can't just command your mind to stop thinking. It never works.
It backfires.
Always. But you can give it a clear, tangible metaphor. Settle like leaves. It reframes mental surrender not as a fight, but as a natural gravitational process. It turns effort into passive observation.
And that reframing has immediate effects. The text says the weight of the day melts away. His eyelids get heavy, as if the moonlight itself was gently pulling them down.
The physical release is complete, and then the symmetry clicks into place. The entire world settles in harmony with him. The air grows still, the trees slow down, the lake becomes that perfect mirror again.
So the external architecture first guided him, and now it's perfectly mirroring his internal state.
Yes, and the final piece, the lantern's glow, his internal guide, starts to match the rhythm of his breathing. Slow, steady, peaceful.
The synchronization is total.
It's the perfect loop closure. The environment set the rhythm, the internal guide adopted it, and he synchronized with both. The blueprint is complete.
So if we synthesize this for ourselves, we have, what, 4 architectural pillars for deep rest?
I think so. First, effective isolation from stress noise.
Second, finding and then following an internal guide. That subjective, non-judgmental signal.
Third, complete sensory conditioning. The sound, the scent, the visual stillness.
And finally, using a mental metaphor for passive cognitive surrender. Letting thoughts settle like leaves.
And that's how Ilian found that deep, peaceful sleep with that final whisper, "Rest now. The night will watch over you." The source really does meticulously map it all out.
Which brings us to our final thought for you. The source ends with a direct invitation. You can close your eyes now, too. We've mapped the architecture. So if the lantern is that tangible signal, the cue that the path your heart needs is ready. What physical, consistent signal could you design into your own environment? Maybe a specific quality of light, a particular scent, a single sound, something that can become your personal, non-negotiable signal to stop and begin the process of profound rest.